I'm a Ridge Blue with Echo in the Aether. And normally I run an everyday vlog, but today I'm doing something a little differently. I'm actually going to do a tech video on changing out the cover to an IBM 600X laptop. There's 8 screws holding just the lid on. The first thing you want to do when removing the front bezel off of an IBM 600X is remove the front 2 screws. Okay, what we need to do now after removing those front 2 screws is apply pressure to the bezel to get it to come forward on the screen. There we go, you hear it? I'm just using my thumb, pushing down. With the slider, after you've pushed everything down, it may stick right here. That's double adhesive that's holding it on. So just a little extra pressure right there. Be careful in doing that. Try not to press on the screen too much. And set that bezel off to a safe location. The next 2 screws we want to remove are here and here by the inverter. They are attached to your back panel. So what we want to do is remove those next from the back panel. We want to keep the screws to the side and grouped so we know where they go when we put them back. The next 4 screws that you want to remove from the bezel are here, 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 and here. What that is holding on is a thin bar just for rigidity of the side of the screens. The next thing you want to remove are the little side tabs that allow the lid to close down to the base. I find a flathead screwdriver works well for this task. Slide it at the top between the plastic tab and this and gently work it down. Gently work it back until the front will start lifting up. And then wiggle or slide your screwdriver slightly underneath it and push up. There's one. When you're doing this with both hands, it becomes a lot easier. And there's 2. Once those 4 screws are removed, the screen should slide out of the back of the case. As you see, now that the screws are removed, the LCD very gently comes out. Our power inverter should slide off the board, off as well. Now gently go around the side and pull the metal bar from the side of the case. Now as you see, it slid back. We can slide it off. And here's our new bezel. The new bezel should easily slide onto the back in place of the old one. And we want to place the metal rods back into the side. Try and line them up with the screw holes. Again, we do this on the other side. Just push it right back and make sure everything starts lining up to the upper screw hole. Once you've reinstalled the 2 silver bars, make sure they've clicked all the way in. Make sure you've put this back into the case when trying to slide this one back into position. Your daughter board and LCD monitor should just turn right back into place. See, lines up. Contrasting slider and daughter board have slid back into position. The next thing we need to do is reinstall the 4 side screws and the 2 screws holding in the daughter board. Once these 2 screws are in, we grab our hooks. The installation on these screen hooks is the same as removal. We put them into the place where we got them and start working them, and you work them forward till they click. Push forward till it clicks, and then we reinstall our bezel. Set it gently over everything. Make sure everything kind of starts clicking in place. Make sure your slider feels solid and stiff, like it's in the proper position. If not, now is the time to readjust and make sure it's in the proper position. And then we'll just start sliding. We'll slide this bottom up slide this into position, and we'll go across the top and make sure all that's pushed in. Push down a little bit as well as up to make sure it seats properly. Make sure all your bezeling down here is seated properly. You'll hear clicks sometimes, especially if you go straight down on things. Once you're sure your bezel is properly seated, you can now reinstall your two final screws. And that is how you change out the back plate on an IBM 600X.